Bayport. Your normal spot. There's the water. Right there. Tripod is all the way up, but it's only at about 5 feet. And give it another 6 inches for the water. It's only about 6 inches higher than the water. And then look at this. Back away a little bit. That's Fiddler's Point. Look how high up the water goes over the top. And it would go beyond that too. If it wasn't so much light reflecting off the water out there.
I should have stayed working, you know?
Yeah, my doctor tells me, he says that's why you stay fairly healthy.
Yeah.
He says because
Yeah,
you're out there working your butt off.
I killed myself my whole life, you know? Hey, I'm Bobby, by the way.
David.
Good to
Nice
meet you,
to meet
David.
you.
All right,
You have
be
a good
man.
night.
Maybe I'll see you down there again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Be good, man.
You too. Alright, I'm not going to say nothing throughout the rest of the video. Just watch and learn. Be the judge for yourself. What do you see? And again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed my my observations. Alright, thank you. Oh, I did want to say one other thing is, you know, looking at these lights on these beacon lights, these bird racks, and seeing how many times they flash. It's almost impossible when you have this distortion, and that's why some people think that they're not flashing the right amount. That the website, the Hernando Waterway website, doesn't. It shows what they're supposed to flash, but you cannot see the flashes. Maybe on the closer ones, but the farther ones, it's just too much distortion out there to tell how many times they flash. It's been a hot day today. Holy Moses. Damn, I wish I could get a good focus on that.
so bad here. What the hell rack is that? That's a boat. Gotta be a boat.
Okay, I guess I was being really, really quiet. Otherwise, this would be really kind of boring. But you look off into the horizon there, and you see this other boat, and you can see its light flashing. And he's very, very tiny out there. And I noticed something too that I really should, and I've noticed this in the past, and I really should take heed in it. When I use full zoom here at night, um, it's really not a good thing to do because everything gets really grainy. Um, but you don't realize it until you actually get it home and look at it, and you say, "Ah, I did it again. I did it again." Um, but you can see some of the distant lights out there, which are the distant boats. You actually, I think I found another bird rack out there that, excuse me, I think I know, I think I have a mistake that I made, um, and I'll try to correct it. Um, and look at here, look at this boat. You can obviously see it's in the water and water well beyond it. And I even think part of what appears to be in the sky, I mean, look at that other distant light out there. That's another boat. Um, that boat just turned on its shrimp lights. They got a big strip of lights in the back when they get a load of shrimp. They bring it in and they light up the lights so the workers can pick through the shrimp and pick out the right ones and get rid of the garbage, I guess they call it, that comes on with it. They get sea urchins and all kinds of other stuff in their nets. So they got to pick out the shrimp and throw the rest back. Um, but I also think that part of what you see farther beyond that water is more water, but it's just mirroring the sky. That strip back there, um, part of that is actually water. Um, and that's my opinion. Again, people don't have to take my opinion for it. They can use their own judgment and look for themselves. But this is Bill Watts' rack, pretty obvious. And you can obviously see the boat. That's perfect lighting for that. And then you see this other boat well beyond it. And actually, I shouldn't have really zoomed in so close, but you can see its riggers out, just like this boat cutting in front of us. That's much closer. I mean, that boat's actually 4 point, well, not 4, but 3.5 miles away. So look how far the other boat is from it. Quite a long distance off from it. There's miles and miles between that boat and that boat. Like I said, you can see the rigger sticking out on it. And then looky there, it turns on its lights too. It must have a nice pile of shrimp in the back that they're picking through. And again, I think I made a boo-boo, which I'm not positive I have, but I've been looking over my navigation maps and trying to figure out, where I made a mistake, and I might have found it. I will eventually get around to making a video on it. I actually been waiting to take my boat back out um, and go to these bird racks again personally, videotape them, measure them, get a GPS reading on them, and know for sure which ones they are. Um, and as soon as I have a nice calm day, that's what I will do. But let me tell you, the wind can pick up at any time out there when you're in the water. And like I said, I have a flats boat. It's not a deep sea boat. And when you go 11 miles offshore, you are definitely taking a risk in a flats boat. Been out there before. The weather got rough, and I was actually thankful that I was able to make it back in. Now you see that darker spot way up on the horizon. I think half of that, between that and the visible water, is quite possibly more water, or even right up to the edge of that black spot, because the rest of that is all a mirror image, reflection, just like what we see when when that horizon line or that hard water line is cut off real close. I mean, like I said, I've had it cut off at 1 mile away from me, with everything beyond it floating, and boats floating in the air, and that's not possible. And it is not refraction pulling them up. It's hidden water. I like to call it the invisible water, just like I'm the invisible flat earther. um, again, I do make long videos, and I understand why some people don't want to watch them, but that's totally up to you. And I just try to present my stuff as observational science, and that's about all I can do. I recently had some trolls saying, "Well, why do you believe things get magnified out there on the water?" And yes, I think this is getting magnified, especially a light source. As you can see with this light source, um, I cannot zoom in on it and make it clear. So that light is being uh, flashed bigger than what I would probably see with my eyes if I was closer there. In other words, it makes the light source a bigger circle or a brighter light than what it should be. So that's magnification. The other thing that's being magnified, I believe, is actually these racks, because you can see where the outline of it is. It's much fatter and thicker than what it should be, and it also could be stretched up a little bit still. We know that concave convex mirrors, which water can create convex mirroring. At least that's my opinion. It can stretch and um, compress things. So, one time you might get this concave mirror, and then another time you might get a convex mirror. Either way, it's the atmosphere causing this convexity or concavity, and it's not refraction that's causing it. It is all the water molecules in the air, or the dense air, that causes this different lensing effect, if you want to call it lensing. Um, and then two, again, where you go out to this horizon line, I mean, you can see the water almost over the top of Bill Watts' rack. And then if you take and split that, it is almost up to where you see the light at, just below the light. Um, and again, I've actually filmed boats going farther and farther out. I think this boat's quite a ways out there. Um, I know that that bird rack is 3.5 miles away from me. So how far is that boat? I think that boat's another 3.5 miles away from me, if not more. And then how much is that water line between that boat and the hard water line, the visible water line that we see back there? That's probably double or triple that, because that is a lot of water back there. But because it's all being compressed and because I'm looking at it on an angle, I'm not going to see as much of it, or at the edge, it's all going to be a compressed distance. Again, it's like looking at the top, the surface of a table. You get down even with it, and that surface becomes a sliver. You get up over the top of it, and you can obviously see how big the table actually is. And you got to use that kind of a concept, that perspective, because there is no other way to look at it than this. And when you got a tabletop that's say 20 miles long, what are you going to see? Probably what we're seeing right here. Exactly what you're going to see. And then at the very end, all that atmosphere is going to distort and misshape things. Now, as you see, as I um, zoomed back, how that light changed, I am seeing more of what I should see, but me on the shore, I cannot see that light to the left. I mean, I see the beacon light flashing, but I don't see that boat flashing. Now, if it was a little darker out there, I'd probably be able to see the boat, but um, that is a long ways off. I do see boats when it's dark out there that are way out there, and I have done some time lapses. Matter of fact, I got a time lapse coming up, a couple of them that I'll show you. And then I'm going to throw some pictures in. You can pause them at your liking, um, and look at them one at a time if you like, or just buzz through them, or just skip to the end. It doesn't matter. I again, I do all of these for my own personal research. Whether I share them or not is usually up to the people that watch them. I do get trolled on, but let me tell you, I should have warned all the trolls that when they come on my channel, if they don't realize that I have done over 3 years of observations, I've captured just about every optical illusion or optical effect out there. Um, and they want to come on and insult me or ask me stupid questions, I am just going to block them. I am no longer going to waste my time on answering some of their questions. Usually, you can tell if somebody is being really serious and wanting to know or wanting to learn just by their demeanor or just by the way that they ask the questions. If they come on there with this attitude like, hey, Mr. Know It All, uh, I don't agree with you because you're stupid. I'm not, listen, people, I'm not even going to deal with it. And I'm sorry, but even some of the trolls that come on my channel, um, some ask questions, and I see bunch of people replied to them. I'm sorry, but sometimes I just block the person anyhow, especially if he's insulted me with some of his comments. I'm just gonna block it. And yeah, I caught a little bit of that moon. Thought it was pretty cool. Thought I'd show that too, being that I was out there and the moon was there. I was gonna stay pretty late, but after that sun departs, it gets pretty cold. So I decided to get on out of there right after this. All right, here's a partial time lapse that I did. You can see these boats moving along out there. And yeah, once you start using the time lapses, it does brighten up a little bit, but you'll notice how fast it goes dark. And you'll also notice how that light streams across that nice calm water that's out in front of me. Okay, here's the last one, and it's no zoom at all. And as it gets darker, you'll start seeing the little flashing lights out there. Those are the beacon lights, and I think there's one hiding behind that boat out there, or the one to the right. I think that's um, my missing bird rack, and that very well could be Cutter's Rock, or it could actually be another one out there that I've seen on my on another one of my videos. I'm gonna have to do some more research on it. Like I said, I want to take my boat out there and confirm a lot of things. All right, I put these pictures out there. I just thought some of them were pretty interesting to look at, especially as it got darker. You could obviously see a little clearer out there, if you ask me. All depending on, again, on what you set your camera for. Some of these were a little longer exposure than others, but why there's this much light in the sky, you can't put much exposure time on it until it starts to get a little darker. So some of these pictures were taken a little bit later, not too much. Um, but these last three right here, I made them a little bit longer so you can take a little longer look at them. I think they are the most interesting three. All right. Again, thanks a lot for watching. DMT Matrix, again, this is for you, brother. And I hope I made them enjoyable. All right. Y'all have a good one now.